Coach, it's pretty clear that there's three teams in the East that are competing for the championship: Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan. The first one of those three playing each other is this week. Penn State goes to Ohio State. And you want to talk about Penn State defense. But you are intrigued not only with the entire defense, but with the defensive line.
Defensive line and front seven. And when I went to Florida, I had Greg Madison and Charlie Strong. Those are my defense coordinators. And I was taught about, they kept talking about violent hands. And remember, the job of an awesome offensive player is to engage and block people. The defensive player is taught to disengage. Right. As you're an offensive, old Notre Dame offensive lineman.
Thanks for the old. Yeah.
As you block me, I have to get off that block. And one of the most important skills, and it is a taught skill, Jerry. There are natural players with hands, but the ability to get off of defenders or get off of blockers, I get excited talking about it because I had some of the best defensive, Larry Johnson, Greg Madison, some of the best, Kyle Whittingham, some of the best defensive coaches ever been around. And the emphasis on the hands, it took me about 5 plays to watch Penn State, and I called you, and I think we had something else planned. I said, Jerry, this Manny Diaz and Deion Barnes, the defensive line coach for Penn State, they're not good. They're elite at what they do. They have good scheme, very good players, but they are well taught, and they do something that is a taught skill and is violent hands.
Well, let's take a look at Deion Barnes' group. And by the way, you know, an offensive lineman can always hold. You know, your defensive guys aren't the only one with the violent hands.
All right, Jerry, I pulled 3 plays from the Penn State-Iowa game, and I could have pulled about 60 plays. These are 3 plays early in the game that I just caught my eye, and once again, we're going to focus on the violent hands. Violent hands is the ability to disengage violently from the offensive blocker. So you have Curtis Jacobs and Zariah Fisher. Curtis is number 23 and Fisher is number 36. And you're going to see this is on one play, both of them. Let's focus first on the linebacker. He's lined up off the line of scrimmage. The offensive tackle is pulling to him to try to engage in a block. Watch Jacobs rip that right arm through it. That is violent. That's violent hands, violent arms. 78 has no chance to block this cat.
It's got leverage as well.
The second one, Zariah Fisher. He's the defensive end. Watch the down block by the tight end. Watch how fast and violent he gets by him. There's a winner and a loser on each play. Those 2 players at Penn State won this play immediately and stopped it for a no gain.
Coach, run that play back. I want to ask you something. Run it towards the end of the play. There appears to be a coach that might be pretty fired up about what's going on here.
Yeah, there's our man there.
There he is. Okay. Manny Diaz. He's done a heck of a job with this unit.
All right, Jerry, play number 2. You have number 44 defensive end, Robinson, and number 20, Isaac. And so Penn State puts their best pass rushers in. It's a 3rd down situation, 2 defensive ends, and I really want to watch one. This is a perfect example of violent hands. Let's focus first on Robinson, number 44. He's right over the center. That's a 300-pound man he's driving back. How does he drive him back? Violent hands. First of all, his leverage. Right. Look where his hands are. It's inside of his. So he's got automatic leverage. Aggressive feet, but violent hands. Look at those hands. Incredible. And then you got Isaac on the outside. Heck of a player. Watch the hands. This is clinic tape as far as arm under. The key to arm under, he's ripping. That's a violent move. Ripping that arm under, violent hands. This poor quarterback had no chance. All right, the final one, and I think this is your favorite, Jerry. This is our man, Chop Robinson again. And remember, the D-line coach is Deion Barnes. Right. Watch this cat now. Watch the violent hands by number 44, Chop. Violent hands, gets it, disengages, but this is amazing. Here, I'm going to slow it down for you, Jerry. This is the ultimate violent hands. Watch the right hand of Chop Robinson come around and swat this ball out.
Really well done. Training tape.
Yeah, it's great effort, great scheme, great fundamentals, and arguably, other than tackling, the most important fundamental on defense is violent hands, the ability to disengage from a blocker.
And I could make a case that the winner of the battle between the defensive line of Penn State and the offensive line of Ohio State, the winner of that unit battle, position battle, will have a lot to do with who wins the game.
You know, Penn State has not really played a good offense.
Right.
They have not.
Right.
And that's not their fault. They play who's on their schedule. Ohio State, the one area of weakness on their offense right now is the offensive line. They're getting better, but they've shown signs of weakness. This could be a low-scoring game. Penn State has not scored a lot of points at some point this season either. Ohio State defense, Penn State defense, two of the top 3 defenses in the Big Ten. I'm saying this is a low-scoring game, and whoever plays best in the defensive fronts are going to win this game.